Hi, I know that you noticed that my hair is red. First off, um, when it comes to the red hair, prior to this, I had never had red hair before. I had never dyed my hair. I was just the type of person that really tried to keep everything basic. But since graduating with my bachelor's degree, I've come to realize that multiculturalism and supporting those with differences and being different itself is a rewarding experience. Going into learning or going into education, I feel that some people have this stereotypical morality that teachers should just be neutral. They should be bland. They should blend in. My classroom will be nothing like that. I will make sure that all of my students understand the importance of multiculturalism, understand the importance of embracing differences, understanding the importance of being yourself, being comfortable with yourself. And that goes for whether you have pink hair, red hair, blue hair, whether your skin color is black, white, orange. I mean, it doesn't matter. What matters is what you bring to the table. What matters is your thirst for education, your willingness to learn. That's what matters. And I want all of my students to know that and understand that in my classroom. I also want them to know that in my classroom, it will be a judgment-free zone. Students are able to be themselves, wear what they want to wear, walk how they want to walk, talk how they want to talk. Growing up, I've seen so many students who were bullied and persecuted for being who they were and for being different. I will not tolerate nor will I teach that in my classroom. In my classroom, differences are very important, and embracing those differences, those quality characteristics that makes every single student unique is one of the greatest treasures. Being a teacher, that takes me to differentiation. I always get tongue-tied with that word, but it basically means to be able to cater to every single one of your students, no matter the background, no matter the experience, no matter the culture. And that is what every teacher should have, the ability to cater each lesson, each unit to each and every single one of their students, which can be hard to do, especially if you have a class of 23, 20, students and you're only one person. And that is what takes me to my second point of why I went into special education. With having a dual major certificate in both elementary education and special education, it gave me the tools I needed in order to make sure that I tailored my lessons to my students. One of the foundational skills of special education is to be able to create IEPs for each and every one of your students, depending on their specific learning needs or goals. So with that being said, in my future classroom, I will make sure to always cater my lessons to every single one of my students, making sure to give them the proper accommodations, supports, modifications, and anything else that they need. I will also make sure that my classroom is a loving environment, a caring environment where students are able to be themselves and express themselves. They're also going to have different type of experiences with learning. When I grew up in the traditional class method where all of the desks were in rows. The teacher stood in the front of the classroom and basically talked or lectured. And students were to write notes and take those notes and use those notes on a test. It wasn't the best experience. Although I am an auditory learner, which that catered to my learning style, not every one of my students will be an auditory learner. For that reason, I will always make sure to use different methodologies as far as catering to those learners who need to get up and do physical work, activities with their hands. Also catering to those students who need visuals, who need to actually be able to see what they are learning. They need models. They need manipulatives. I want to be that teacher that is able to do project-based assignments with my students, challenging them to use inquiry, to go and investigate and be scientists and figure out the answers that they need or are searching for. I also want to make sure that I do take in some traditional forms of learning, such as learning or teaching, such as making sure to give lectures and implement that direct and explicit instruction. I think that especially with special education kids, they need that direct support. They need that cut and paste learning. They need curriculum that is very, very detailed. And so I will make sure to incorporate, when needed, the direct and explicit instruction that my students need. What else? My personal philosophy, I just personally believe that every student can and will learn. It's not about their disability. It's not about, their experiences. It's not about any of that. Like, every student can and will learn. As a teacher, all you have to do is meet them at their learning level. Figuring out that student's ZPD, or zone of proximal development, a teacher is able to meet that student there and introduce a rigor level that is conducive to their learning. I do feel like there are times where it will be hard for a teacher to teach a student. It could be because that student may have some emotional needs that are not being met. That student could have some financial needs that may not be being met. That student may have things going on in their households or in neighborhoods that may prevent them or distract them from learning. But as a teacher, I feel that it is important for my students to know that they are safe, that they can trust me, that they can open up to me and tell me what's going on so that I'm able to meet those needs. If by chance there's not an opportunity for me to meet those needs, that is when, as a teacher, I can also make sure to get in the proper administrators or staffs or supports that they need, whether that be an occupational therapist, whether that be the school counselor, whether that be, it doesn't matter, whomever the student may need or whatever they may need. As a teacher, I feel that it's my goal and my duty to make sure that my students' needs are being met so that they can be in a position to learn. Lastly, I do want to say, because of that, there will be a lot of collaboration with other instructors, administrators, staff, even cafeteria workers, janitors. Going into the professional realm, I understand the importance of collaboration. I understand that it is extremely important that all teachers are able to collaborate with others. And that doesn't mean always agreeing. That doesn't mean that. But that means willingness to work, willingness to learn, willingness to work out differences, to problem solve. And I am all for that. As being in the classroom already, I've learned the importance of collaboration. I've learned the importance of having team supports, whether that's your paras, whether that's your other therapists, whether it's your counselor or even your principal. Being able to go and talk and find confidence and advice, getting all of those good things from other professionals in the realm of teaching is very important. So I will also make sure that my students understand the importance of collaboration. whether it be project-based assignments, group tasks, or just simply think, pair, and shares. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that I can introduce collaboration into my classroom, and I plan on doing that in my future career as a teacher. With all of that being said, I just want to say that I think that learning is fundamental. I think that learning is one of the best gifts that a teacher, mom, parent, anybody could give a student. And it starts with the parents. The parents know the students more than anyone. So I believe that with collaboration with parents as well, we can build future innovative learners that will just conquer the world with all of their abilities. And I also feel that going forward, just being able to have that willingness to learn from others and teaching my students that willingness to learn from others will create a generation of people that are able to do the impossible. My name is Kiera Warfield, and I am a future educator. Thank you.